right.
Yes.
Okay, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, sorry for this technical problems that wasted much of our time. But with this, I will now commence the presentation. As earlier said, the topic of the presentation is on innovation for greening buildings and communities, a perspective for utilizing renewable energy. So I have given next slide. Next slide is brief about me. So I've made that brief. So next slide. Okay, the second slide is on, this slide is on the outline of the presentation. I will make introduction about the entire topic. Then I will talk about innovations. Then I'll talk about renewable energy in details. Then I will discuss on greening buildings and communities. Then I will conclude. Next slide. Okay, introduction. As we are all aware, energy, building, and environment are the three most important issues hindering socio-economic development worldwide. The global energy demand is annually increased at about 2.3%. Likewise, demand for affordable houses are also at an increase globally. And this leads to some negative effect on the environment that result to some climate changes, global warming, etc., etc. The world population, as we are all aware, is about 7.7 billion as of today, and had cumulative demand of energy utilization to about 13 terawatts. While Nigeria has a population of about 200 million, and based on our projected demand, we have a demand of about 120 megawatts. So, and if you look at this scenario today, we are just generating about roughly around 11, what do you call it, megawatts as installed capacity, but available at the end is about just 5 or 4 megawatts fluctuate on a daily basis. So by taking 1% annual growth rate, the global electricity consumption demand is estimated to be around 20 terawatts by 2020. So to meet up this demand, there's need for huge uh, exploitation of conventional energy from fossil fuel, which we are all aware again, if we go by that, it will result to huge impact on environment that will cause a lot of climate change issues. Next slide. Next slide. Therefore, technology innovation in green supply can be centered on a novel building communities or energy systems. And this innovation must be governed in accordance with some specific models that we need to deploy. However, promising innovations in building sector requires sustainability, because if there's no sustainability, then the innovation How? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hi, Doc. Hi, Doc.
Can you hear me?
Yes, very well.
Okay. Uh, Therefore, technology innovation in energy supply, as I said, is centered on novel building communities or entire building chain. This can be achieved also by ensuring the deployment of sustainable buildings, which will gear towards reducing in order to combat climate change. The incorporation of innovation in housing design geared towards keeping the demand of energy, mitigating climate change, everybody knows is a welcome development. Next slide, please. Hello? Hello?
Yes, Prof, we're with you. We're with you, Prof.
So next slide. This phenomena eventually necessitates the need for consideration of alternative energy, like renewable energy, to be utilized fully. Nigeria, with a population, as I earlier said, about 200 million, has huge potentials of renewable energy cut across solar, wind, hydro, biomass resources. With nearly 1/3 of total energy consumption is devoted to domestic household in Nigeria, then therefore the focus on energy consumption thoroughly. The entrenchment of sustainable housing development is timely. There's no doubt. Worldwide today, the issue of sustainability in every sector is the phenomena. So housing or building sector should not be left out because it has important role to play in reducing greenhouse emissions in order to combat climate change. Next slide, please. Nigeria faces several shortage of building stocks with about 16 million housing deficit currently. For this reason, there's need to also embark on massive construction of houses. But again, we should not continue building conventional type of houses that are energy inefficient. Rather, now to go on what we call green buildings, especially in residential and offices, because this will highly reduce energy consumption, reduce effect of climate change. Green buildings are mostly reflected with the present generation reality so that it can avoid many issues like the impact of climate change and global warming, as I already said. Although improving the existing ones cannot be out of place. Yes, definitely we have a lot of buildings that are not green. So leaving them out is not. The issue now is to incorporate these houses with the green energy, mostly photovoltaic system, so as to reduce the electricity generation we are currently focused on from fossil fuel resources, and also to reduce the impact of climate change. Next slide, please. These measures can result to reduce the consumption of about 40% if we entrench renewable energy into our own buildings. The energy consumption can be reduced to 40%. Unlike that of conventional ones that increase with about 75%. Renewable energy from photovoltaic systems can satisfy between 18 to 100% of all electricity demand in Nigeria. I've already said that we have very huge number of very huge potential of renewable energy. So if we fully harness it, we will get a very good percentage in terms of our annual electricity demand being taken care of. For this reason, there is need to massively explore available resources we have in Nigeria from renewable energy for residential and office building sectors. Next slide. Okay, key issues in this presentations are basically innovation, renewable energy, then green buildings and communities. Then the intersects are the sustainability issue and the issue of mitigating climate change. Next slide. So let's get started with proper presentation now. Innovation. Once somebody pronounces word innovations, there are a lot of things that come into his mind. Issue of value change system, brilliant ideas, success, technology, society, light, exact values, engineering, free, important achievement, a lot of things, visions, traditional, a lot of things comes when somebody wants to make issues on innovations, because you have to take care of all those things. So by some definitions, innovation is the process. Next slide, please. By definition, innovation is the process of making change, large or small, radical or incremental, to produce process and services that result in introduction of something new for the organization that add value to customers and contribute to the knowledge stored of the organization. So when you talk of innovation, it's issue of making some changes on either existing things or a new thing. And this should be in a situation where it make some, what do you call, benefit in terms of products or process or services. Again, innovation can be defined as creation, development, and implementation of new product, process, services, with the aim of improving the efficiency, effectiveness, or competitive advantage. We can also say innovation is successfully exploitation of new ideas, because now when you are going into new ideas, the issue of innovations come into it. It is also defined as the modern meaning as a new idea, creative thought, new imaginations in form of device or methods. Innovation is also often viewed as application of better solutions that meet new requirements and next slide. Hello, are you with me? Fine. So the issue of green innovation now comes to be, and it can be defined as in terms of either hard or soft wares. Innovation that is related to green product or services, including the innovations in technology that are involved in energy savings, pollution prevention, Hello, guys.
Yes, hello. Hello, Doc.
Hello? Hello?
Hello. 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 Hi.
Yeah. Mr. Tosi, can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello. We can hear you.
Okay,
Hello.
can
We
we?
can hear you.
Okay, let's continue. Can you hear me? Okay, next slide. Next slide.
Tosin, next slide, please.
So our knowledge contribution to clarification of the concept of green building innovation can provide an overview of the entire available literatures on ground in the field of green innovation by identifying the most impacted researches that has been done, and there's some relevant publication. However, there are three what you call notion of green and environmental innovations usually considered as sustainable innovations that broadens the concept of inclusion of social dimension. Some example for this green innovation activities are such that are result oriented in terms of decrease of toxic components within product, like from fossil fuels, also decrease of emissions and decrease of energy consumptions, increase the useful life of product, inclusion of recycle scheme for product which can be differential, like in terms of biogas, people can use waste to recycle into production of energy. So the next slide, Mr. Tosin. Sustainability, which I say is also one of the connecting issue in this presentation. We can define sustainability in buildings as a means of practicing of using what do you call it, very innovative designs that can increase efficiency in terms of using some of the resources like water, energy, materials. So the sustainable energy, which is the practice of use of energy in a way that meets the need of present need without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their own need also. In general, renewable energy are what we call sustainable energy, and example of them are the solar, wind, hydroelectrics, which are widely considered in the world as most or perfect sustainable resources. Sustainability is made of three pillars actually: the issue of economy, the issue of society, and the environment. So for you to get a well sustainable platform, you need to look at these three basic things. And these three basic things, as you know, economy is the issue of profit, of what comes out of the product and services. Then the issue of society, the people or the consumers that this product is going on. And also the 13 is the issue of planning, which means the environment that you are producing these services to or product. The environment need to be safe and need to be in a more conducive atmosphere. Next slide. So sustainable development stands to meet the need of present generation, as I said also, without jeopardizing the future. With this, there are a lot of policies that are put across in terms of sustainabilities, and these policies are geared towards ensuring that the product and the services are not in such a way that can bring impact to society or to the economic system of the country. So the overall aim of sustainable development strategy is to identify and develop actions to enable the concrete authority to achieve a continuous long-term improvement of qualities of life through the creation of sustainable communities that can be able to manage and use available resources at point in time, and to tap from the ecological and social innovation potentials of the entire economic chain, and to end about the prosperity, to enable, to come about the end, to ensure prosperity, environmental protection, and social cohesion. So next slide. So the issue of sustainable building or green buildings is one of the most catching issues worldwide today, and it's basically on designs and the inclusions of resources that is required to move with this. So what is the difference now between the sustainability and going green? Green refers to activities that provide a more effective use of resources and minimize the harmful impact on the environment when compared to similar products. Sustainability refers to activities that allow specific problems to be solved without having adverse implication in the future. Next slide. Now, what are the three main aspects that make an energy resources sustainable? As I said, is the issue of environment, the issue of social applications, and the economic aspect of it. Environmental sustainability mostly refers to issues that do not harm the environment. Therefore, we need positive energy balance to start any issue of environmental sustainability. And such can only be done by the entrenchment of renewable energy. And as I said, renewable energy is paramount today in the existence and to secure future of unborn ones. Next slide. So we have issues about sustainable designs. The architects are working very hard and coming up with sustainable designs, putting into consideration the use of sustainable energy like solar panels, wind turbines, biomass integrated to some of this design, or the issue of using daylight energy by making provision in such a way that in the daytime you don't need to put on your power in a particular building before you conduct some activities within. So the use of sustainable materials also is part of it, because materials that are used in buildings some are coming from unsustainable production, where a lot of effort is being made and a lot of carbon dioxide is being generated for making, in the process of making those products. So there's need also to consider some of the materials used in issue of coming up with a sustainable design that may be environmentally friendly and may make use of even the waste product to be managed and recycled. So we also have some essential element of a sustainable cities. Before a city become sustainable, there will be issues of access to public resources like train, what do you call it, transportation systems, and a lot of them. Then also the issue of urban renewal actions. Then the issue of reduction of emission within the community. Then the ethical consumptions. Then the reduction, reuse, and recycle. So if you look at it, in major cities of the world today, like Japan, Germany, they have China, they have issue of carbon emission. So most of them now are trying to develop what they call sustainable cities. These cities are mostly target at reducing carbon emissions and reduce the impact of climate change. So I also want to make some discussion. Next slide, please. Okay. Discussion on climate change. As you know, we can't talk about green innovation in buildings or community and also talk about sustainability without bringing issue of climate change. Because the major issue is the issue of climate change. Climate change is widely noted today as very harmful issues to environment. So there is need to look into issue of some mitigation process and come up with the solution. So I don't want to take much of your time because you are all in climate change. This next slide, please. So next slide, please. So as I said, you can see some of these pictures now. These are pictures even from Nigeria. The first one at the top, this is a flood in Kogi State in 2012. This is a city where the entire city is submerged because of climate change issues. Then you look at the other side of the distance. This is what do you call it? A desert somewhere around Yobe State, where you can see the effect of what do you call it? Desertification. Then the one at the middle is from the east, where you see the issue of erosion also. And if you look at the Niger Delta area, the two pictures down shows some of the impact of climate change within the Niger Delta area. The other one by the left is the issue of petroleum, crude oil exploration, and the other one is also the issue of flooding due to climate change issue. So now let's go to issues that is the major driver in this our discussion, which is renewable. As we are all aware, renewable can be defined as energy whose sources is replenished naturally on a human time scale. Renewable energy can also be referred as source of energy which occurs and replenished naturally and are not depleting. they have little or no negative impact on environment. Renewable energy also provides reliable power supply, and fuel is a means of fuel diversification, which enhance energy security, low risks of fuel spill, and reduction in the need for importation of fuel. Renewable energy also also help in conserve the nation natural resources, and finally, it can also refer as alternative or green energy. Next slide, please. Next slide. So now we discuss. I just give definition of renewable energy. So what are renewable energy resources? Renewable energy resources are resources that are sustainable. Sometimes they cannot run out, because like sunshine, since you are born, you know the sun is coming out and going every day, and it comes, so it has never run out. Then also it can be referred as energy that alternative and mostly common virtually everywhere. Every part of the world has at least 1 or 2 hours sunshine within its landmass. So it can also be defined as resources that has less polluting and can never be exhausted. So next slide. Next slide. Okay. The most popular renewable energy resources currently in Nigeria are solar energy, wind energy, hydro energy, tidal energy, geothermal energy, and biomass energy. Solar energy in Nigeria, as we know, is we have very huge resources, and we have a lot of technologies that are currently being used. Same to wind and hydro. Though we have limited potential in terms of tidal and geothermal. Next slide, please. What renewable technologies are? Renewable technologies are commonly deployed green technologies used for utilization of all forms of renewable energy resources, whether it's solar, wind, biomass, or hydroelectric dams. They are safe for environment and does not produce any fossil fuel byproduct. As you can see from the picture, the first one was solar water borehole. The system, the community is using solar to power the water supply. Then the other one, you can see these are lanterns that are being charged using renewable energy from solar. Then the other one is also what we call mobile charging phone booth. Next slide, please. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to also bring to your attention the benefit of renewable energy technology. The application of renewable energy technology in the rural area in the rural areas has the capacity to work on the massive migration of people from one place to another, especially from rural areas to urban areas. Some of these ways what is of to some of some it all next slide. Next, uh, has made significant inroads for households, lighting, and entertainment. Although the electricity issues certainly provide improvement in the quality of life through this household application, it is the product uses of the electricity that can increase income and provide development benefit to rural areas. Income increase, rural populations become more better, and affordable level of energy services achieved by using renewable energy. So the major emerging productive uses of energy in Nigeria include in the rural electrification issues, rural water projects, battery charging in terms of either mobile batteries for cars or for phones, and in the area of health sector delivery, also in the area of agriculture, and also in the education sector or small cottage industries or community services or domestic uses. As you can see from this picture, in the area of agriculture, the solar chicken brooders has been developed, and also if you look at within the picture also you can see water heaters on top of on the roof of hospital for maternity use, and you can see some refrigerators are also being powered by renewable energy. Next slide. So how renewable energy minimizes rural-urban immigration? You know, today entirely people move from better environment, from worst environment to better environment. Some in the search for employment, some in the search for better way of living, some will be in search of comfortability. So many rural people in Nigeria find it necessary to leave rural areas and move into urban because little supply of energy or no availability of energy within that sector, and they also wanted to enjoy the social living, like listening to radios, televisions, and having a light to read. So By providing renewable energy into this rural area, definitely it mitigates the high number of people moving into urban areas. Next slide, please. Then there are a lot of facts about renewable energy. Like hydropower is known to be the most popular renewable energy resources worldwide today. Wind also is what we call the fast growing renewable energy resources worldwide. And solar is the third biggest renewable energy resources worldwide. PV could account for 5% of global demand by 2020 and up to 9% by 2030. So 9% of global energy demand can be taken care of by PV based on these studies. Also, by 2015, our energy need can be met by 95% using renewable. If you look at some countries like Germany, Netherlands, Finland, most of them already has gotten, what do you call it, high percentage of renewable energy entrenched into their energy mix. So with that, actually, it's a very good development, and this can be issues that we need to push on globally. It's also issue of investment. There's high investment prosperity in renewable energy. As you are aware today, especially within this issue of COVID-19, a lot of countries lose most of their own revenue from crude oil because the product become not marketable at the end of the day, or the transportation issue and exploration issue becomes a problem. So this can also be a problem that renewable energy now can serve as a gateway for investment. Then the global renewable energy market is now worth over 250 billion. This is nearly close to the what do you call it, the crude oil or the fossil fuel market. Next slide. Next slide. Okay, so now let's talk about the types of renewable energy. We have a lot of types, as we have already outlined before. We have the solar energy, and this solar energy is simply sunlight that struck on photovoltaic cells to produce energy. The amount of energy comes from the solar, mostly is from the outreach of solar radiation on the surface of the earth. Photovoltaic systems are used to turn the sun energy into electricity, which we all use it. And also it can be used to turn water, cold water to hot water by thermal means. And this can be fixed on top of roofs or on their own, or it can be used also for powering street lights as standalone. So there are a lot of advantages in terms of renewable energy, in terms of solar energy. So solar is becoming more popular in Nigeria, and is becoming one of the Nigerian renewable energy mix now that the Nigerian government is working hard to see the entrenchment at a very rapid stages. This solar we are talking about also can reduce carbon footprint. For those of you that are in climate change knows what is carbon footprint is. Solar is one of the indicators. So you can see, next slide, please. So from the pictures, you can see here some of the benefit or some of the applications where solar energies are being used. From the first picture, you see solar energy is using now as a car park port, and energy is generated also to charge electric cars. So you can see down below a lady is using solar energy to operate some machines with. Then we have the water system. We have also the standalone system. We have the what do you call it, thermal heating system. We have also solar being used as a dryer, especially in the north. If you go places like Sokoto, you see now agricultural farmers are now using solar dryers to dry their potatoes and other products. You can see also solar being used to power school. You can also see solar being used to power keke napep. This keke napep is a product in Nigeria. It is used they use solar panel to power the keke napep. And you can see also a village people now enjoying solar, listening to radios and watching footballs at the comfort of their homes. So next slide, please. Then the other renewable energy resources is the wind. As we know, wind is type of renewable energy resources that is being generated from the resources of wind flow, and this turns on turbines. It can be located either onshore or offshore. It is resources that never finish. And in Nigeria, we have a huge potential of such resources. And these resources also can be used for off-grid or on-grid supply. It depends on the choice. Next slide. Next slide. Okay, so the facts about wind power is individual wind turbines can be used to generate electricity at a small scale for homes or other services. You can use a small wind turbine on the roof of your house, or you can install it on the premises of your house to give you the needed output from the selected turbine. There are a large number of wind turbines also. I think for today there's available up to 2.5 megawatts of one piece of wind turbine. Though we are not using it here in Nigeria, but in developed countries like Germany, they started installing some of those things. So next slide. So some of the benefit actually, next slide. Some of the benefit actually for wind energy is clean and low carbon energy sources. Nearby local communities can benefit from it by way of introducing them job, or infrastructural activities will come up. Then also wind can be built, wind farms can be built and installed more quickly than like hydro. Can take you many years to develop a hydro dam, to develop a hydropower resources. But for wind, as soon as the turbines decide, within 1 or 2 weeks or 1 month, you can install, depend on the capacity. Large capacity wind turbine may require some months because you have to cast a base for it, very strong, that will take the weight of the wind turbine. So, but for a small scale, you can mount it within 1 week. Then wind, as we know, is renewable and it never finish. Next slide. Next slide, okay. Then the other resources is the hydro. For all of us know what hydro is all about. It's one of available resources in Nigeria, and hydro also can be at a commercial basis or at a local, at small scale basis. This can be done by building of dams or barriers, or having some reservoirs that will control flow of water to driven the turbines and generating electricity. In Nigeria, we have a few number of small hydropower stations. There's one in Kuru in Jos, and there's one in Wayadam. And we have the large hydropower, which is one of the major source of our electricity supply in Nigeria, the one in Kanji and the one in Shiroro. So for those of you that are into energy, you will know of those this thing. And for those of you in Mina also, know where Shiroro and where Kanji is. and that is why we call Mina as what you call Niger as a power state. Okay, next slide, please. So for hydro, most of its own benefit is generally for electricity supply. But actually, hydro also can be used for irrigations, as we are all aware. But the major source that people make use of it so often is in terms of generating electricity supply. Next slide. Biomass energy is one of the biggest unutilized energy resources in Nigeria. For those of you who know village setting very well, will testify the utilization of biomass. They are one of the energy that are used mostly for cookings or heating in domestic houses. And this actually result to a lot of environmental pollution and deforestation. So, but Nigeria, we have very huge resources, biomass resources, and little has so far been exploited. Biomass, next slide. Biomass can be used in many forms. It can be used in terms of biogas for cooking, as you see that lady is using currently, or it can be used as bioenergy for fuel to cars, especially in developing countries. Though in Nigeria, we have used jatropha to extract the oil content out of it. Jatropha is a plant. We use it to extract the oil content of it. And in Narit, Zaria, a vehicle has been operating with this biofuel for a long period. What you need always to make some conversion in the engine. Then also from biomass, also the issue of biofuel. There are some generators now that are using biofuels, like from Jatropha, I said, or from either even Neem tree. Now there's research that we did that extract oil from that and turn it to biodiesel. So next slide, please. Tidal energy, we know, is a resources that is in Nigeria also, but at a very low potential. Much has not been done on that area, but these are resources also that are being driven from rivers or from oceans. Next slide. Next slide. Okay. Geothermal is also another resources which is time to be renewable energy resources. And in Nigeria also we have the potential, but at a very low level. When you compare to countries like Kenya, Iceland that are operating at a very high level. So the actual total potential of geothermal energy has not been quantified yet in Nigeria. Next slide. Next, okay. Other low energy resource, low carbon energy resource that tends to be renewable are like nuclear. Nuclear energy isn't renewable, but due to its low carbon rating, low carbon emission, this has made it above some other energy resources and terms it to be more likely to be considered as renewable energy resources. It has a stable resources, which means that does not depend on weather or will play a big part in getting that, and this will play a very big part in getting Nigeria net zero status. For those in climate change knows what we mean by net zero status. So the other one is the hydrogen energy. The hydrogen energy is a new technology. It's also zero emissions fuel. Currently, the potential in Nigeria is not yet quantified, but by the effort of Wascal now, we are trying to come up with we'll come up with an atlas that will showcase the potentials of this hydrogen power in Nigeria. And again, hydrogen power is hydrogen energy is a resources that has been utilized in many countries. Like in Japan, they are using hydrogen in their transportation system. A lot of big buses are using hydrogen. A lot of small cars are using hydrogen. So this is not a mirage technology, but it's a technology that has been proven, and it's a technology that also in future can be at a very high demand. Next slide. So we have a lot of, next slide, please. So there are advantages for this hydrogen. It's eco-friendly. It's time to be renewable energy sources. It's powerful and efficient. It has a vital application in the oil and gas industry. Next slide. Next slide. So in any advantage, actually, there is disadvantage. And likewise, in the hydrogen energy, there's disadvantage about the system. It's doubting to the storage issues. Hydrogen energy has not been fully explored, so the storage and the spot infrastructure has not yet been hugely developed. And you know, it's a resources that also need a very careful handling. It is also relatively expensive for now because due to its technology and also its availability, and the process along the line is still comes to be expensive, and still relies on fossil fuels, because fossil fuel contribute mightily to emission of greenhouses. So this also makes it to be at a low at disadvantage. It's say highly flammable. As I said, you need to have a very good hands capable for its transportation and its storage. Next slide, please. So renewable energy potentials in Nigeria. We have already discussed that we have huge resources, we have huge potentials in terms of Nigeria. So the availability of such energy play a vital role in every aspect of our socio-economic life. As we know, energy is and will always be a key component of economy, social, and political development of the country. Today, while we are having some problems and some underdevelopment in most of our community, is because of unavailability of affordable, accessible energy within those communities. A lot of Nigerians are entrepreneurs, but again, you cannot be an entrepreneur, successful one, without use of energy, because you have to use machinery to make product and services, and as a result of that, you need energy. So these are some of the issues. So at this time today, Nigeria's main energy carrier is the biomass. As I've already said, fuel would take a very huge percentage in terms of energy requirement in Nigeria, because virtually every rural areas are dependable on biomass, about 81.25%. Then the natural gas, Zarma, we call it the gas for the what you call the energy for the rich, is just about 8.2%. The availability in even some rural areas are not there. Then some petroleum products is just about 3.5%. The crude oil is 4.8%. Then the hydrogen is 0.4%, and the other resources are just around 1%. So if you look at biomass, is very huge, and this is one of the renewable energy resources we have in abundance in Nigeria. So next slide. So I provide this table for you to see the reserves and utilization level of some of this renewable energy we are talking about. So far in Nigeria, large hydropower has a reserve of about 11,250 megawatts to be generated out of them. And utilization level, we have only 1,900 megawatts. So you look at it, from 11,000, you only utilize 1,900. Then also for small hydropower, we have about 3,500 megawatts reserve, identified resources, and the potentials been established. But the utilization level, as I said, is just 64 megawatts, which very meager. We have a lot of resources. Small hydro power spring virtually in every communities. So this is thing also need to be focused upon. Then the solar radiation, we know we have about 4.0 kilowatt hour per meter square per day, and up to 6.5 kilowatt hour square meter per day. This is very huge potential. And by way utilization now, we have about 15 megawatts in pilot project done by some organization. Then the biomass also, you have seen the potential from the oil wood, municipal waste, animal waste, energy crops, and this thing. So let's move to next slide. Next slide. So solar energy potentials in Nigeria, I have already said it. You see the solar radiation map for Nigeria. Virtually even at the places of Port Harcourt, where there is a very low solar radiation, we can also generate very huge potential of hydrogen solar PV out of them. Now, not even talking about the higher part like Maiduguri, Sokoto, Kano, where the radiation is very encouraging. So we have a lot of resources, and we have no doubt about it will give a very good percentage to the energy mix of the country. Next slide. Next slide. So the utilization level for solar energy technology in Nigeria is mostly on street lighting in various parts of the country, village rural electrification in a way of mini grids to many parts of villages, and also solar water pumping system. We have different locations with various type of solar water pumping system. Then the issue of solar being used for rice dryers, solar cookers, and a lot of other agricultural services. Next slide. So hydro potentials, by way of map here, you can see the scattered rivers all over Nigeria. And this gives us a very huge potentials. Hydropower, I have already said this, the exploration has reached about reasonable percentage, but also we still have a huge potentials on ground. We have over 7 hydro micro dams, 126 mini dams, and about 86 smaller hydro. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Okay, hydro engine potential also, you can see from the map here, from the map here, there are a lot of identified potential sites with their own what do you call it, the capacities. As you see, it is scattered all over the, the, the map. Next slide. So for wind energy potential in Nigeria, we already said we have huge wind potentials, and we have a lot of sites now that we have also made some pilot projects there. Nigeria, we have developed what we call wind map. This wind map it's a digital wind map where in every location you can locate the potential of wind there, and that can also give you the size of what do you call it, to be installed for smooth operation. Hello, can you hear me? Next slide. Mr. Tosi. Hello? Hello? Hello, Madaki. Ina office, ina wani meeting ne. Kana nema na ne? Okay, to, ina zuwa. Hello? When is connected? ne ko kuma hoton da ne kawai. Hello? Hello?
Hello, Prof.
Yes, what's the problem? The slide is not moving.
Femi, how far?
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello, Prof. We are here. Hello.
Yeah, the PowerPoint is not moving. What is the problem?
Femi. Okay, let's see if you can contact him. I don't know, maybe it's network.
But can you hear me now?
Yes, yes. We can hear you clearly.
Okay, contact him, then I'll continue the lectures. Let us just finish.
All right, all right, all right.
Since you have the PowerPoint, you can listen. So,
Yes, yes.
okay. So now the issue is the future of renewable energy. As we are all aware, the population is increasing and the demand for energy is also increasing. Then this is uh, uh, the energy uh, it, uh, the the village so so uh, renewable energy yeah, so very not because inside. Uh, increasing to and reduce to about it or
Sunday.
Yes, Femo. How far now?
Yeah, you know what is happening?
You are well done. You are doing a
Thank
great
you.
work. You are doing a great work.
You are also doing a great work.
You now.
The meeting is still on record, though.
Yes, I know.
Okay.
But I think he has network issue.
Yes, me too. I had network issue before, but now it's better.
Okay. I think the general problem in Nigeria. It is well.
All right.
All right, we'll be expecting him. Let's wait. Maybe we reconnect.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Femi, please maybe you should help us contact engineer to counter demand. Femi, are you there?
Hello, guys. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Okay, sorry. We'll continue. So the next presentation is on a case study of a green community with integration of renewable energy resources in Nigeria. This village is called Ganjawa village in Sokoto State. What we did first was to introduce solar into the community by way of solar PV mini grid to electrify not less than 100 houses. Then also we integrated it with the use of small hydropower wind turbines, small wind turbines, and this added to the energy mix. Then also we introduce water boreholes and solar dryers also for agricultural system and hospital equipment. Then we, okay, I think you are with me now. Okay, let's go. Okay, go ahead. Okay, go to go down, down, down. Okay, stop here. Okay, as I said, this is the community now that we have a perfect greening community in Nigeria. This is because we have integrated virtual all the renewable energy sources we have in Nigeria. And next slide, you can see this is the aerial view of the community. This is a typical village setting. Next slide. So the first thing we did was to introduce solar PV system into that community. We electrified virtually all households in that community. Then next slide, we also incorporated street light within those community. Virtually everywhere in the community has street light. Next slide, we also have wind turbine installed in various parts of the community. Next slide. Then we also provide some solar dryers and water heating system in the community. Next slide. We also convert some of their waste to biodigesters and channel the gas for cooking in some of the houses. Next slide. We also provide them with efficient cooking stoves so that even if they are going to use foil wood, they are not going to use the same quantity they used to use before. Next slide. Then we provide water system supply also to the system, to the community. And from solar pump boreholes. Then uh, the is in the other Hello? Hello?
Yes, Prof. Please, come on, please.
Hi.
Okay, so I think we need to just conclude this thing because the network is not good. So uh, the slide is no more moving, but actually the next issue is the of all this in different parts of the world. So with this, actually, area is at a very promising perspective in terms of the huge resources, the what do you call it, the population, and also the need for the entrenchment of all those renewable energy. So we have some frequent questions usually being asked. One is, what are the similarities between the difference, and the component of this green building, which we have already said. Then the issue of also going green in building, is it expensive? Yes, at times investment issue, capital investment may give you very high, but at a long run, you will definitely see that the percentage, the what do you call it, the cost is not as we are thinking about. And does this new buildings or new green buildings reduce environmental impact at a general perspective? Of course, yes. So these are also things that need to be focused upon, because definitely by going green in some part of what do you call urban cities, definitely you are reducing pollutions, and this will give a very good reduction in the carbon emission. So in conclusion, actually, I wanted to say that Nigeria has very huge resources of renewable energy, and we have very, what do you call it, high human capacity that require the exploration, that require very huge number of very huge capacity of energy. And with this also, depending on fossil fuel can never give us solution, especially with the issue of environmental issues. Then we have to now fall back on entrenching renewable energy into the system. Then I also want to say reliably, actually, the entrenchment of renewable energy can mitigate the issue of climate change and global warming. And in Nigeria also, we have a very good policies that guide the entrenchment of renewable energy into homes and industries. The opportunity for investment actually is there, because the world is now calling for sustainable energy development, and the entrenchment of renewable energy into our houses or communities is also very important. So I give you some reference that you may check, and also if you need some of this thing, you can get back to me. The next is the issue of acknowledge the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the Energy Commission of Nigeria, and also WASCAL put me in our office. Thank you all for this. So we can now quickly have some questions and answers before we finally close. However, I have provided the PowerPoint issue with the Mustaraf, or the person operating now, which please kindly share to everybody, and you can go through it at your convenient time, and you can ask questions at any time, because I have my emails there and my phone number. We sorry, apologize, sincerely, I apologize for the issue of on and going breakout. Is the issue of technical what do you call it, internet services issues. I think we have bad internet services issues in our location. And also, I was just informed that Google Meet is not virtually good for presentation. I think next time we'll have the opportunity to do presentation, we have to go to Zoom platform which accommodate some of these things. So, ladies and gentlemen, please, the floor is open for any questions that you may wish, so that if I can have time, I can answer some of them directly, or some of them until maybe I provide to you by email or by phone.
Okay, sir. Thank you, Prof. I have a question. Let me say I have two questions. Are you hearing me? Hello? Can you hear me?
Oga Sunday, what you do? Okay, I think it's
Yeah.
up now. Okay, can hear you.
All right.
Okay, you can hear me. All right. Thank you very much for.
Yeah, I can hear you, Sunday.
All right. Thank you very much for your presentation. I have two questions.
Yes.
First one is on tidal and geothermal energy. I think that it is realistic for us to generate energy through tidal and geothermal, because
Geothermal,
for
okay.
example in geothermal we don't have volcanic eruption in Nigeria, for example.
Yes.
And I don't know how this one can be generated. And also talking about tidal, you talk about the ocean current and ocean tidal and so on. I've never seen anywhere it is produced in Nigeria, but I don't know, from your own institute and organization, are you actually working towards generating energy or power through tidal and geothermal energy in Nigeria? That's the first question.
Okay.
Then my second question is about the Danjawa village in Sokoto.
Yes.
You use it as a yardstick for integrated renewable energy model. You use it as a model for having integrated renewable energy. I want to know, what are the yardsticks that you used? What are the yardsticks that you used in choosing this particular village out of thousands of villages we have in Nigeria? What are the yardsticks that you use in choosing this particular Danjama village as a model for integrated energy? Yes, thank you very much. Those are my two questions. Thank you.
Okay. So let me quickly answer your question before we go to next presenter. Yeah, if you can listen to my presentation, actually I said geothermal and tidal has never been exploited in Nigeria yet. But definitely we have the resources. Tidal is a wave, and it can be generated from the ocean. We have what do you call it, the coastal area around Lagos that has the seas. So it's possible to use. There are different type of turbines, the turbines that you use for tidal generation. Some of them are floating ones. Some of them are started ones in the deep sea. Some of them are very light. So can generate using Red Sea or Indian Sea, maybe 10 megawatts. In Nigeria, we cannot get that one. We can only get limited resources. By the virtue of the technology, we know that in Nigeria, we can still get something out of it. Then the issue of geothermal, definitely there's not anyone yet in Nigeria. But the fact that the resources is possible not only through volcanic eruption only. It can be what do you call it? There's a lot of process that can also be used to generate it, like the way you drill crude oil also. And in China and what do you call it, in Kenya, they have a lot of them. It's not. Have you ever heard any volcanic threat in China too much? In Kenya too much? No, but they have about 10 to 15% of their energy mix generated from geothermal. So geothermal does not mean only when you are having a volcanic eruption like in Japan or any other distant. But the basic thing is that there are technology used now. When the resources there beneath the earth, you can now exploit it all. But we have not quantified our own in Nigeria yet. So the issue of Danja village, actually, the stick we use there one is that this is a remote village where what do you call it, issue of electricity was not there one, and getting them electricity from national grid will take many years. Issue of even accessible road for transportations of cars and this thing is not there, because our sample, even in the entire village that time, there's not even a single car. Even machines, they don't have machines, they have only bicycle. So the level of carbon dioxide emission there is very low. And with that also, we look at it, okay, when you are looking for a community where you can start this type of this thing, is that you have to look at the baseline issues. They don't have this, they don't have this, they don't have this, they don't have, virtually energy is not there. So, and the resources are there. And that is why we started with solar, then we integrated wind inside, we integrated biomass, we integrated, what do you call it, some of the other technologies into that. So the energy that is from there is totally renewable. And this is what gives us the guts to say this is a green community, because there's no any, in fact, at that point, we put the facilities there, there's not even a generator that is using petrol or diesel. So yes, there are a lot of communities in Nigeria you can get with this, but this is just like a pilot, and to show people that this is what greening environment is. We are making reference to that community actually based on the fact that we have these facilities integrated on ground.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Hello, next question, please. Next question.
Sorry, Prof. I don't really have a question, but please, are we free to send you an email anytime we have an inquiry from you, sir?
At any point in time, I'm a young researcher like you. So I will be very, very happy if you can. I also my PhD. And I have to fall back on related information. Hello.
Hello, sir.
I think his network is breaking.
Hello, sir. Yes, yes, yes.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello, doctor. Okay, yes, we can hear you now. Hello, yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear us? Hello. I think his network is Hello, Dr. Zarma. Hello. Mr. Valentine.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, maybe when he's able to come in, maybe you can appreciate. Okay, hold on, sir. Yeah. Thank you for the time. We really appreciate your time, the effort. So I want the class rep to just appreciate you for the time you have spent with us, giving us this lecture. We pray God will help you. Mr. Valentine.
Hello.
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 Hello, we can hear you.
But his network is not good. He's not hearing.
And since he will have the record, let's just do it.
Excuse me, engineer, doing what?
No, I just want him to appreciate him on behalf of the class.
Oh, okay.
I think it's off. The network there is terrible.
Hello.
Hello, class rep.
Yeah, so, the prof is off.
Yes, his network is very bad over there. So yes, if he's able to come in, I would just want you to appreciate him on behalf of your other colleagues for the time he has spent, and then let's end the class that way. So subsequently, okay. Dr. Zarma, you're welcome, sir. You are muted yourself. You can mute yourself.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, all right, okay.
Hello.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Yeah, class rep.
I would like, on behalf of my colleague, to thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
We really appreciate this time we spent with you. And I think we will keep in touch in case of need, as we have your contact.
Yeah.
We can still contact you for help.
Yeah, always welcome.
We wish you a good day, and may God bless you in your career.
Thank you very much. I also thank you for having time to listen to me. And as I said, I'm always open. So you guys, we should keep in touch. If there's anything you want from me, I can give you a help. If you want issues on even publications, how to write research papers, I can be also of help. I'm editor to some of the, reviewer to some of the papers, journals. So please be free and ask questions at any time you want.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and have a nice day, everybody.
Thank you. Same to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Doctor. We really appreciate.
Thank you
On
very
behalf
much,
of
sir.
the director, yes, I will convey the message to her. I think she was unable to attend. So
Yeah.
we want to appreciate you very much.
It's okay. So you are welcome, and we hope to meet again in future.
Yes, yes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye bye. Okay.
All
Bye,
right.
everybody.
Bye, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Oh,
Bye
God,
bye.
Sunday.
Bye bye. Thank you all.